This is the Wolfgang GA420. Comes with an external microphone. Got that plugged in inside the helmet. And I've also got a dead cat from Amazon. So running that. And first commute with this setup. So let's see how we get on. A little bit slippery today, but I think everything's melted. Hoping this audio setup is going to work out. Tried it out earlier last week and it was a little bit peaky. It was peaking bad. So see how we go. Turn the wind, mate, come on now. Turn the wind noise reduction on, and that helped. Don't particularly fancy getting knocked down. Got high vis everywhere. I have high vis on my jacket, on my trousers, and on my helmet. Also interested to see what this image stabilization is going to look like and how this camera is going to sort. Is that better? Sure feel a lot better about having a camera on my helmet. Don't like riding without one. All right. 40 miles an hour, got visor just cracked. A little bit windy today, but not too bad. So I want to see what this audio is going to sound like, and also see what the image stabilization looks like. Foggy today. A little bit of mud through here. This is good. Thanks, guys. Oh, that's slippery. One thing I like about this camera, I'm guessing most action cameras do this, but this is the first one I've owned with a screen on it. And one thing I like about this is that it switches itself, the screen switches off after maybe like 15 seconds of recording, so that you're not just draining your battery. I quite like that, really. Now these dead cats, man, it's so muddy. These dead cats are supposed to be very good and, you know, drowned out. Where is all this mud coming from? Supposed to drown out. Very windy now. The dead cats are supposed to drown out the audio and drown out the wind, even with an open face helmet. So I'm hopeful that this is going to work, because I've got the visor completely closed now. It's very windy out there, but it's 50 miles an hour, visor's closed. And theoretically, this dead cat should cancel all that wind noise out, especially with the wind noise reduction switched on the camera. So we'll see what that looks like. Nasty stuff, man. The helmet is just covered in filthy, dirty, stinky mud, which means that the camera probably is too. And if the helmet is getting wet, then there's probably getting some water inside that mic, which is not good. Mate, this is disgusting. I'm going to be covered in this nastiness. Windscreen fluid right in the face mask. Cheers, mate. Thanks. I cannot believe how nasty these roads are, man. This is crazy. Do try not to come off today, mate. Tell you what, these hand guards on the Tiger really help keep the hands a little warm too. Got winter gloves on, but you know, it's like 3 degrees Celsius. So if you haven't got these hand guards, that wind is just straight on the gloves. You can really feel it. But I've had a Sprint GT before, obviously didn't have any hand guards on it, and it was just freezing in this kind of weather. The heated grips help, but and they'll help on this too, especially with those guards on there. I did buy on the Sprint GT. I ran with the hand muffs for a while. Well, no, they were good. They really kept it warm. Winter gloves, heated grips, and hand muffs. That's the way forward. Let's go. Come on. Haven't got time to mess about, mate. I've got to get to a meeting. Let's go. Oh, you forget how amazing it is to be on a motorcycle. Oh, you just love it, I do. Right. 50 miles an hour on the motorway. 55. I mean, I can't imagine the audio is going to be that good. 60-ish, almost. The guy I bought my brother's black Tiger 1050 from told me that when he used to ride his, he was always looking for the seventh gear, because he felt like 6 was always just screaming too loud. And I gotta say, I agree with him. It does feel like it needs another gear, or that it's just geared in an odd way. Like, I'm only doing 55 and I feel like I could shift up. I mean, and if you're in the action camera business, please make an action camera that can have a microphone plugged in and it's still waterproof. The case for this thing, I mean, the camera itself is supposed to be waterproof. It is waterproof. But as soon as you open the door to plug the mic in, you kill the waterproofing. I gotta get around this guy. Slinging mud and dirt all over me. 70 miles an hour. There's no way that the audio is gonna be, it's windy, it's 70. No way you're gonna be able to hear me now. Hear me now. Windy. Really, really windy. Still got some pretty new tires on here. I think I've done like 20 or 30 miles. Supposed to get 100 miles under them before you go too crazy around the turns and start goosing it. Trying to get your knee down, which I won't be doing ever. I mean, I won't be trying to get my knee down ever. I might get my knee down, but it'll be accidental. All right, let's get these hip grips on, man. Hands getting cold, baby. It's getting real chilly. My poor little bike, it's gonna be so dirty, salty and rusty. Ew. Rust is out. How come these guys aren't spraying their windscreens now? It'd be quite handy. Get some of that on my visor. Nope, it's all just stuck. Disgusting. I don't want to scratch the lens of the camera either. That's why it'd be really good to be able to use that case. He was smart, he had his waterproofs on. I don't think there's going to be any water out. This is nasty. Rather difficult to see as well. Most assuredly going to have to clean my helmet visor before I leave to come home. I do hope it doesn't start to freeze before I'm able to get out of the door. Nasty weather. All this brand new high-vis stuff ain't brand new no more. Got dirty, man. Probably the car would have been a good idea today, but the missus needed it, you know what I mean? She had to go to some sort of thing, innit? Like, she had to go do something in the car. So I couldn't ride the car. I had to go on my bike, didn't I? Hey, now there's an idea. Might just have to follow suit, I think. That guy's right on my booty. Tell you, he's lucky I didn't have to go out this morning. It's freezing this morning, literally. Oh, it's so dirty. I hate the idea of commuting on this, especially in this nastiness. Somebody smoking weed. Surprise, surprise. Bruh. Cutting me up, man. This city's a bit urban. Ugh. Ooh, those heated grips feel so good. Nice and toasty. Oh yeah, what are we doing? What are you doing? Nah, I've got to remember how to get where I'm going. Only been there once. Twice. Dang, bro. My guy almost got killed on that scooter. Poor little bike. Absolutely disgusting. Alright. Test out these waterproofs then. My bum's not wet yet. So far, so good. It wasn't even supposed to rain today. Rubbish. That Indian sounds good. Ooh, listen to those pipes. Every single traffic light. I'm gonna filter through here a little bit. What? Didn't really want to be out. It's getting dark. How's the old lens doing there in the rain? Probably not great. Yeah, I feel pretty bad riding this bike. It's 12 years old, 13 years old. It's only got almost 1,700 miles on it. So few miles. I feel bad commuting on it and dirtying it up in this nasty weather. You just know that this salt and grit and everything's just going to rust this thing out. Obviously, I can do what I can to clean it and look after it and make sure that doesn't happen. But it's going to happen. It's likely. That's what happens when you use them. A friend of mine told me the other day that when I was telling him this, he said, yeah, but these things are here to serve us, not the other way around. I thought, whoa, that's a good point. So I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. That's why I bought this thing, right? Just to ride it. So service it, clean it up, tidy it, and get out on the road on it. Somebody else said, all right, now all you got to do after all that work is just get on it and ride the bejesus out of it. And I got to say, I tend to agree with that. I think that's exactly what this bike needs, is it just needs to be ridden a lot. And that's my plan. I intend to. Now, one thing I've decided on with this bike is to brake using my brakes, not using my gears. I used to downshift all the time. Come on, where's that clutch? There we go. I used to downshift all the time, coming into traffic lights and coming to a stop. And then when I had to replace the chain and sprocket on my old bike, I realized, oh boy, actually maybe downshifting isn't so good, because you end up wearing out the chain and sprocket faster, and that's something that is a little more expensive than brake pads. So, and brake pads are easier to change. So I'm going to brake using my brakes, and only really use the downshift to get myself in gear ready to take off again from a stop. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's just rude, man. That's how I got hit the first time. Wonder if it's legal in the UK to have lights on your helmet and on your kit. I'm just looking at this guy in front of me on his motorbike. And you think like, oh, I'm going to get a loud jacket, I'm going to get a loud helmet. But you still can't see this guy very well. It's only the light on his tail light that you can see. Which, you know, if you're paying attention, should be plenty, but not everybody's paying attention. This guy's being very nice. Cheers, man. Appreciate you. I gotta tell you, sitting on this Tiger 1050 is much more comfortable than the Sprint GT. The Sprint GT, I mean, it's a tourer, you know, it's a sports tour, so it is meant to be somewhere in between a sports bike and a touring bike, but That thing, my back used to hurt, elbows, wrists. But this thing is just upright. And where are we going, guys? Anybody? All right, let's go tuck this thing away. See if we can leave it in the garage for several weeks and not have to ride it again. Got to clean up my boots. Got to clean up my helmet. Got to wipe down my jacket. Got to wipe down my trousers. Got to wash this beautiful bike. And you get all this stink coming off the exhaust too. You know that smell when you're riding in the gritty, salty, wintry weather? And the pipe just puts off a stink. Man, my guy on the bike up there is getting after it. He's not too fussed about the fog. All right, do your thing, my man. I'm gonna hang back here. Let this car hit anything that jumps out in the way. I came off my bike 3 years ago. I just replay that over and over and over again in my mind. And you start to think like, oh, what could I have done differently in the moment to make sure I didn't lay the bike down? But it's so quick. And when you think back on it, when you reflect on it, you think, oh, I had loads of time to react, but you didn't. You know, it's so fast. But then when you're on the ground, sliding, it feels like it's forever. It really isn't. It's so quick. 1 minute you're humming along, and the next you're on your butt sliding down the road. The only thing I think I could have done differently is to not take the bike out that day, or go a different route so that I wasn't on back roads where the water and the sludge from the farm wasn't seeping out onto the road. That's the only thing I could have done differently. Yeah, bring on a little bit of this rain, I reckon, because it might help wash off some of this nastiness off my helmet.